I heard him speak a couple of years ago for the, I believe it was a roast for Frank Barger when Coach Barger retired from Hickory High School. And very eloquent speaker that Marion Kirby is. Had a lot of nice words to say and had some stories to tell about his days at Lenoir Rhyne and also at Hickory High School.
Well, Gardner Webb, after spotting Lenoir Rhyne a 7-0 lead, has come back to lead 10-7 following Parker's field goal. And here's the kickoff that's going to roll down. One of the up people for the Bears, Randolph Bowers, making a good return. Still on his feet, and then gets over the 40 and going to be dropped out of bounds at about the 42-yard line.
Good field position. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Bears have a shot, maybe getting some points on the scoreboard. We saw it last week against Elon, Jeff, late in the first half. The Bears trying to pick up some late points, came up with the turnover, and here in the first half they've had three, or have had three turnovers. Gardner Webb has had three, and the Bears have not been able to take advantage. And we do have a new quarterback in, Joel Roop, the freshman, will take over at quarterback. He's done this a couple of times. The 2-minute drill in the first half, and he has got a rifle for a right arm.
4 receivers. Roop down to Sanders. Mark in Gardner Webb territory, breaks a tackle, and now they stuff him at about the 46-yard line right in front of the Bear bench over there. Sanders has been hit like that several times this year, and he's got up every time.
Gets up quicker than he goes down. So Mark gets another catch, and for a guy that's only 5'4", Jeff, he could leave Lenoir Rhyne maybe the third, probably the third, maybe second all-time leading receiver. And there you see it, he's 5 catches shy of becoming Lenoir Rhyne's third all-time leading receiver. And when you consider the great wide receivers that have come through Lenoir Rhyne over the years, that's an accomplishment for a guy only 5'4".
1:46 to go in the first half. Lenoir Rhyne trailing Gardner Webb by a score of 10-7.
Mark Sanders has caught more passes in this game than I caught in 2 years.
Okay. In 2 years as a receiver. Now, you played both ways. You played offense and defense, sort of like Gordy Lockbaum of Holy Cross, who got a lot of publicity.
My junior year, I had more interceptions than receptions, and I only played 1 game on defense.
Matter of fact, I believe, if we can throw it up on the screen, you are the last player since Scott Walker that might have played both ways here.
That was just out of necessity because everybody else was hurt. Pestilence hit the team. Everybody was sick. Pestilence.
Where did you learn that one?
A lot of people were sick in a game against Winston-Salem State, and there wasn't anybody left. They just said, go ahead in there. And I played center field, and they threw it right to me. So, I mean, you could have caught the pass.
Well, I don't know about that. 1:46 to go, and the Bears.
But we had great coaching back then, that's why.
This is an emotional game. You know, let's get back to the game here. Gardner Webb wants to keep Lenoir Rhyne out of the end zone here at all costs. They'd like to go in the locker room and be up no worse than 10-7 here at the end of the first half. These two schools, just to be honest about it and blunt, don't really care a whole lot for each other.
No, a couple of former Lenoir Rhyne alumni on the sidelines. They have a couple of assistant coaches, Ricky Camp and Kevin Jones. Both graduated in the early 80s, are now with the Bulldogs.
Roop on the delay to Crawford. James struggling for some yardage, and Gardner Webb's Jim Steele will be one of the primary tacklers at about the 45-yard line. Now we'll get a timeout, and we'll take a timeout as well. With 1:35 to go in the first half, you're watching. Back to the action here is Roop at quarterback for the Bears. Down the middle, Sanders, and he pays for the touch at the 24-yard line.
And he hung on.
That little guy continues to amaze me. What a catch, and what a tremendous hit. Back to the action here is Roop at quarterback for the Bears. Down the middle, Sanders, and he pays for the touch at the 24-yard line.
And he hung on.
That little guy continues to amaze me. What a catch, and what a tremendous hit. But the Bears have a first down inside the Gardner Webb 25.
Crunch time here at College Field. I can't believe he hung on, Jeff, and bounced right back up.
I've seen him do it a lot in the last 2 seasons. He continues to impress me with his gritty play.
Unbelievable.
Again, 4 wide receivers. That one will be in the highlight film next week on your show with Tom Watson, I'm sure, as Roop, under heavy pressure, takes the sack back at the 28-yard line.
Guarantee you, Mark Sanders, if he has a chance, is going to tell Joel Roop, do not throw a ball high across the middle.
Well, you know, Roop was smart there in taking the sack and not trying to make a throw where the receivers were covered.
Yeah, you're right. That was a good play. And Joel has a lot of poise for a freshman. And, you know, a good sign of an outstanding receiver is his ability and to go across the middle and come up with the big catches. And Mark Sanders, I don't think anybody has to say anything now. He's one of the the best wide receivers Lenoir Rhyne has ever had.
Not only is he a good athlete, he's a courageous athlete at 5'4", and 140 pounds to go out there and take a hit like that and get up and come back and play the next play.
That's just a remarkable catch.
Second and about 13 for the Bears now, and with 1:14 to go in the first half. Gardner Webb leading 10-7. Lenoir Rhyne would love to punch one into the end zone right here before halftime.
It would give them a lot of confidence. Gardner Webb has to have confidence, Jeff. They've had 3 turnovers here in the first half, and despite the 3 turnovers, are leading 10-7, and they were down at 1.7-0. So the Bulldogs have bounced back. Let's see what the Bears have here in the final minute.
4 receivers again for the Bears, only 1 setback.
Gardner Webb rushes 3.
Roop looking out of the backfield. Now, I thought he was going to throw to Greer. Sanders was there and makes the catch, and they get him down at about the 26-yard line. So here's a 3rd down and long situation for the Bears as the clock runs under 1 minute, and Lenoir Rhyne going without a huddle this time.
Again, Gardner Webb rushing 3, Jeff. They're keeping 8 in the backfield, and that's going to make it tough to pass the football.
Roop with only 1 setback, looking down the far sideline, incomplete.
Flag on the play.
Sam Wells, the intended receiver, and we may have pass interference coming up against Gardner Webb.
Flag came after the drop pass, Jeff. It may go against Lenoir Rhyne.
Well, here's the official call. Ineligible receiver downfield. John Armstrong, the referee. Maybe one of the Bear linemen was over there. I saw Harrison over there in the vicinity, but I certainly didn't see any linemen.
It may have been one of those legal formations, Jeff, where the Bears do spread out a lot of receivers, and Harrison may have been on the line of scrimmage and had to be off the line of scrimmage, only allowed to have 7. So he's a receiver, but he may have lined up in the wrong position, and that, of course, made him ineligible. Well, that call sure came late, though. It was well after the play, after the pass was incomplete.
That should be a loss of down as well. 3rd at the 32-yard line, 3rd down and about 20 yards to go. But they do not lose the down, so it'll remain 3rd down as we get the play in from the sidelines.
We have seen some strange calls.
3rd penalty for 15 yards in the first half against the Bears.
That penalty may have moved the Bears out of field goal range, or Richie Mallard. They need to pick up about 10 right here, Jeff, to get back in range.
Again, 4 receivers as Roop with some protection going deep over the middle. Harrison inside the 10-yard line's got a first down for Lenoir Rhyne.
Timeout.
35 seconds to go in the first half, and they'll stop the clock because they have to set the change for the first down, but the Bears will also take a timeout. That's their 3rd of the half. Let's keep it right here with only 35 seconds to go in the first half.
3rd down conversion. The Bears are converting over 40% of their 3rd down conversions, and anytime you get around 33%, you're a pretty good football team.
First down, goal to go at the 9-yard line. 35 seconds to go. That's Jones in motion to the top of the screen. Here's they fake the pitch. Roop looking over the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Lenoir Rhyne, Kenny Jones.
His 3rd touchdown of the season. Hallelujah, Hickory. What a great pass by Joel Roop.
And what protection he had from the offensive line that kept the Gardner Webb defensive people out of there. Bears are on top 13-10 and a well-constructed drive following the Gardner Webb kickoff.
I can't wait to see Joel Roop in a couple of years, Jeff. He's going to be a pretty good quarterback for Lenoir Rhyne, and they're pretty much set at quarterback the next few years with he and Laurendine. Percent, it's unheard of.
11 seconds to go in the half. Benson will load up the ball again. Hagler after him. Some other people are there, and they're going to sack him for a loss back inside the 45-yard line. Good defensive effort by Lenoir Rhyne. Bob Lofton, Jerry Allen there, and the half runs out. And it's going to be a happy crowd of Bears that salute Lenoir Rhyne as they head off the field here at the end of the first half, enjoying a 14-10 lead. Tom Watson will be gathering John Perry on the sidelines. And I got to think John's going to be pleased with his first half performance on the defense, because the defense made some key plays when they had to. But the offense, a couple of chances got away from them. And we'll switch down to Tom here in just a moment when we get John Perry beside him. Let's go down to Tom and John Perry and see what John's thoughts are on the first half of tonight's game.
We're ready. Coach Perry, give us your impressions of the first half. We didn't take advantage of opportunities when we got the ball first and goal on the floor. We've got to take every advantage here. There's another dogfight, just like every football game we're in. And the one with the less mistakes is going to wind up with a great drive right there before the half. Get in there and get 7 points. Great credit to our young men. Any defensive changes you going to make it during halftime? We'll go in there and talk about it right now. Defense playing real well. We gave up, 2 big plays that cost us 10 points. Offensive? Well, offensively, we were off balance a little bit. We didn't execute a couple of plays there, and it cost us, a couple of scoring opportunities. Coach, appreciate you taking this time. Thank you. Back upstairs.
Okay.
Back at College Field, getting set to start the second half. Lenoir Rhyne scored on its first possession, and there you have the homecoming court for 1988. Tracy Wilson, the runner-up, along with Angie Helton, and there is your winner, Miss George. No, not Phyllis, but there's your winner, 1988 homecoming queen. The Bears will get the football first. They scored on their first possession of the first half and their last possession of the first half. They'll get the football first here in the second, and the man to bring you tonight's, or this afternoon's, we'll get it right, play-by-play, the voice of Lenoir Rhyne football, and my partner, Mr. Jeff Joins.
Thank you, Juju, and good afternoon again, everyone. The Bears lead 14-10 as we're waiting on the kickoff, and it's not a pretty one. Bowers will field it at the 25. Randolph, 30, 35, breaks a tackle, 40. He may turn this thing. 40-yard line at Gardner Webb and down at the 38-yard line. Came within one man of busting that one for a touchdown on the opening kickoff of the second half.
We're going to see so many big plays here in the second half, and Bowers giving the Bears great field position. He just kind of broke out of the pile there, Jeff, ran over a player, then down the sidelines, and you mentioned one player left for the Bulldogs. And the Bears special teams, the return teams this year, have just done a fantastic job.
Bears start with a pair of wideouts. Hatley to the top of the screen, Sanders to the bottom of the screen. They split the running backs as they go first down at the Gardner Webb 38-yard line, and Joel Roop, still in at quarterback, hands the ball off to James Crawford, and James is met by the Gardner Webb front for no gain on the play.
Maybe we can get Tom or Cheryl to go down on the sidelines and find out maybe what's going on with Tommy Laurendine, who hasn't started the second half.
He's over there throwing the ball on the sidelines. Maybe he's got some type of injury, or perhaps John's elected to just split time between them here.
Well, when Rook took the team down for the touchdown, Jeff, and giving the Bears some momentum, maybe he said, let's go with a hot hand.
Perhaps. Wideouts to the short side of the field this time to set the I-backs behind Roop, and now they put Wells in motion back to the wide side of the field. On second and long, here comes the reverse back to Wells. He's got blockers in front of it. He's to the 35 and down at the 34-yard line. Gardner Webb covered that pretty well, considering all the flow was going one way, and all of a sudden they came back to the other side.
The Bears have not been able to run the sweep as effectively as they would like to have run it, not since, Jeff, about the middle of the first quarter, because of Gardner Webb's pursuit. And that's a way to cut down on the pursuit and keep the defensive players more at home to come back with the reverse. And I just mentioned that we had not seen that much from Sam Wells today, and that's the first time he's touched the football.
13:40 to go in the third quarter. Third down, and a long 4, short 5 for the Bears at the 33. Root backing out of there, deep down the sideline. Going to be incomplete. Jones basically went into the position of playing cornerback that time himself, as it was Eric Brenton over there of Gardner Webb that perhaps had the better chance to catch the football.
Flag on the play.
And it may be an offensive holding call against the Bears if they elect to take it. It's fourth down if they don't. And now the officials will take a timeout. One of the Bears shaking up on the play. It may be Steve Swope down there, having a hard time picking up the number. Maybe we can get it off of our end zone camera, but we can't get it from the sideline.
It is Steve Swope, number 55. Matt Ford is the backup center. He's a sophomore, but Swope, the senior anchor, across the front line for the Bears, and he's going to go off under his own power. Jeff, he may have got either, I don't know, may have got a shot in the face, it looks like.
Well, watch this snap then. It could be critical because it'll be the first time Swope hasn't been in there to snap in a while.
Good defense by the Bulldogs after watching the Bears get great field position. Lenoir Rhyne only manages about 5 yards of offense on this first possession. We're going to, this is just going to be an outstanding second half.
Well, it's fourth down anyway, so the Bears send the long snapper in. and Mallard waiting on the punt. They may take a delay penalty here. Sean Weaver's the snapper on the punting situation. They're going to take the delay of game just to give him a little more yardage to punt for. Better chance of Bears downing it deep in Gardner Webb territory this way as the penalty comes, and now they'll back it up 5, and it'll be 4th down, and Gardner Webb will send Richardson back there to receive, and Mallard will be standing near midfield when he punts the football.
Mallard has been averaging a little over 35 yards a punt. Had a couple of pretty good punts in that first half, Jeff. Right now, really not looking for yardage, but for distance and placing it out of bounds inside the 20.
Bulldogs back out of there, trying to set up a return. He just sort of pooches this one down to the sidelines. Lenoir trying to cover. Down inside the 10-yard line, you can see it rolling out of bounds in the vicinity of the 1-yard line. You won't get a better kick than that. Let's switch down to the sidelines where Cheryl Sigmund's standing by with a guest.
You're talking with head football coach of Maiden High School, Tom Brown. Coach, your impressions of this homecoming matchup so far?
Well, it's been game of field position. The Bears have pretty well kept them in the hole, and they have been able to get out a couple times, but otherwise LR's done a real good job. They got back on the 2-yard line again, so the one-time Bears got good field position here on the 5, and I thought made a pretty bad call, but, you thought they were going for the element of surprise, and it backfired, and so the score stayed at 14-10.
I think the Bears can hold on. It's going to be a matter of who has the ball last.
Well, I think you're just looking at two different teams out there, but the Bears are much smaller than Gardner Webb, so there's no heat factor. If they don't wear us down, I believe we'll be able to stick in here with them. But if their size starts to dominate, we might be in trouble.
One thing, Coach, I was told today that the Newton Conover Maiden game will be played here at College Field.
Yeah, we're going to play it up here on October the 21st. We negotiated the contract yesterday at Lenoir College. And we want everyone to to realize that we're doing it simply for the convenience of the fans and a few other things. And I think it was ill-advisedly reported that we were expecting trouble or something like that. That was not the case. We just want to allow as many people as they can to get in and see the football game, and this is the biggest facility around.
We're looking forward to that. Appreciate you stopping by with us. Enjoy the rest of the game. Back up to you, Juju and Jeff.
Okay, good to hear from Tom, and glad to know that they're going to play that big Southern District 7 game right here at College Field. Gardner Webb at 3rd down now, as Benson going to give on the running play, and the ball's loose, and the Bears have recovered. Well, they haven't recovered yet. Gardner Webb's going to recover it in and out of the hands of Marcus Wall. He had it and rolled over with it, and it kept coming out, and Gardner Webb saves the football, but they'll have to punt it out of their own end zone. And the Bears will set up a return here as they'll send Wells back to receive.
They avoided disaster there, Jeff. The ball just popped out of there, was laying on the ground. Wells should have came up with it, and Gardner Webb saved it. Almost had another safety, but they're going to back it up at the back of the end zone. A good shot there by our camera crew as the Bulldogs are going to punt very deep.
Ike Oglesby is back to receive the punt. This is Darren Wilson on the end of the end zone line and gets off a kick. Oglesby all by himself has it at the 44. No blockers, and he's going to get inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Pretty courageous return when you consider the only thing out there in his way was the guys in the white jerseys and the red helmets.
So the Bears will start their second possession of the second half where they started their first possession at the 38-yard line.
LR at the Gardner Webb 38. We got 11 minutes and 15 seconds to go in tonight's third quarter. I should say this afternoon's third quarter. As the Bears send a pair of wideouts.
Joel Roop stays in there at quarterback.
And Roop is in there as we go on first down at the Gardner Webb 38-yard line. A long count. They're going to pitch it back to Bowers. Randolph makes a nice cut and gets a few yards down to the 36-yard line.
Jeff, we haven't seen as much of the inside trap or the play to the fullback a lot today. We saw a lot last week from Walter Greer and Russ Baldner, but so far Gardner Webb is really starting to shut down the Bear rushing attack, and they have not been very successful running the sweep here since about the middle of the first quarter.
That might be because of the size that Gardner Webb has on their defensive front. Second and long, and they run the running play. Again, this is Randolph Bowers, and this time he struggles to about the 35-yard line. The Bears would love to just be content to drive it right in and punch in a touchdown here out of this possession and get up perhaps 21-10.
It would be all important to get some points on this drive, and Right now, the Bears having some problems on the third down conversions. Not problems, but at least here in the second half. You can't get any better field position than this, and right now the Bear offense needs a big play here on third down.
3rd and about 7. A little play action fake. Roop with that bullet arm has it picked off. This could be trouble. Down the far sideline and finally out of bounds over there for Gardner Webb is Bill Henson. Henson with the interception, and the Bulldogs pick it off and return it into Lenoir territory to the 44-yard line. Costly mistake for the Bears. It gives Gardner Webb possession at the Bear 44.
That might be the only bad pass that Joel Roop has thrown all year, Jeff. He just threw it behind. There you go. LR was intercepted 3 times by Gardner Webb last year.
That's the 3rd today.
That was just thrown behind the receiver, and the Bear offense right now needs to get a big play going. They've had 2 outstanding opportunities to open this game open.
Benson brings him up to the line of scrimmage at the Bear 44. This is Middleton. Breaks a hole, still on his feet, inside the 30-yard line and tackled at about the 26-yard line. Mike Cohee didn't quit on the play. He chased him down and tackled him in the Bear secondary. That's a defensive tackle making the tackle in the Bear secondary. Middleton just continues to put up big numbers here this afternoon. He had over 100 yards at halftime, and now he's somewhere in the vicinity of about 130, 135.
Middleton last year rushed for 940 yards, Jeff, 11 touchdowns, and he averaged 7 yards a carry, so you can tell he's a breakaway threat and a very dangerous runner.
I wasn't far off. He's got 126. Now he's over 130. Fumbles the football, but I think he's down inside the 15-yard line at the 14-yard line.
Well, what a change of field position. The Bears had Gardner Webb backed up to the 5-yard line, had the Bulldogs backed up, and Gardner Webb actually fumbled the ball. The Bears had it in their hands at about the 10. They lost it. Gardner Webb punted it. The Bears' next possession, interception, and now Gardner Webb about 14 yards away from taking the lead.
They've got a first down just inside the Bear 15 at the 14-yard line. Benson with the I-backs behind him this time, out of the I formation. A single wide out on a long count. Gonna pitch it back to guess who? Well, that's not Middleton, is it? That is Carlos Howard that's in there, number 21. And he struggles for yardage down to about the 13-yard line. This bend but don't break Bear defense has got its back against the wall once again. Mark it at the 12-yard line. It'll be second down for Gardner Webb, 2nd and 7.
Howard has 21 yards on the season coming into the game today, and Gardner Webb seems a little bit more content here, Jeff, in the second half to rush the football, really try to control the line of scrimmage or establish the line of scrimmage. They threw, I think, maybe more passes than they would have liked in the first half.
Middleton and McKenzie this time behind Benson, 2nd and 7. Lenoir leading 14-10. We're in the third quarter here at College Field. Here's the option play. Middleton, 10. 5-yard line, down about the 6-yard line, and he's going to be close to what they need for a first down. Stays in bounds. The clock moves along. We're under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter.
I think Tom Brown was right a few moments ago. We have 2 different types of football teams. Gardner Webb, a physical team. Lenoir more finesse. And right now, Gardner Webb trying to dominate the line of scrimmage, and they moved it down the field pretty easy on this possession.
Middleton, the SAC 8 leading rusher coming into the game. 20 carries, 144 yards on the afternoon.
We'll be naming our Centel player of the game following this afternoon's contest between the Bears and the Bulldogs.
And right now, it's up for grabs, as the game is up for grabs as well. There you see the Bear defense last in total defense, last in rushing defense. 3rd and a yard for the Bulldogs. Benson with the running backs behind him. A long count, gonna give to McKenzie, and McKenzie's got the first down as he's inside the 5 down to the 3-yard line. And it'll be 1st and goal to go for Gardner Webb.
Lenoir will look back at this football game, Jeff, if they don't win it, and see the missed opportunities they had in the first half. They've had a couple of opportunities here in the third quarter with good field position inside the opposition's 40-yard line, and have not been able to capitalize.
Well, they had 2 passes intercepted in the end zone. They've had a 3rd pass intercepted deep in Gardner Webb territory. So there's 3 potential scoring opportunities that's gone away from them.
They had a fumble, I believe, in the first half as well.
Yes. 1st and goal, Gardner Webb. Everybody in tight in that backfield. From the 3-yard line, McKenzie might have got to the 2. The Bear defense trying to get tough down there. Hegler, Wallace, Oglesby. Several other guys in on the play. Ojar, Vassar.
And the crowd is getting kind of quiet here at College Field this afternoon. Again, an excellent crowd. The best of the season without a doubt. Maybe 7,500 people here this afternoon, Jeff.
McKenzie's got 41 yards on 10 carries. But now here's second and goal from the 2.5-yard line.
High diddle, Middleton up the middle.
Well, there's Middleton, and there he is into the end zone for a Gardner Webb touchdown. The Bulldogs have resumed the lead at 16-14 with 6:01 to go in this afternoon's third quarter of play. As the Bulldogs put together a drive from the LR 44 following the interception by Henson. That's twice this afternoon. The Gardner Webb's taken advantage of LR mistakes and turned it around for a score.
This game has been a game of big plays. This is the kind of, it's like a basketball game. This kind of tempo that Gardner Webb likes to play.
Parker, one of the top kickers in the nation, will try to add the extra point and does. And Gardner Webb's jumped on top 17-14. Timeout on the field, 6:01. Sam Wells waiting on it at the 9-yard line, and the Bears on the return, getting a little bit of blocking over there. Wells comes over the 20, out around the 25-yard line, and the Bears will put it in play there. Gardner Webb on that touchdown possession. They had 8 plays covering the 44 yards. Out of the 44 yards, Middleton picked up 36 of them, including the touchdown. And Tommy Laurendine's come back in at quarterback for the Bears as they'll start from their own 26. We got 2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen as Laurendine brings them up to the line of scrimmage. Little play action fake. Sanders out in the sideline area, needs a block, gets it, 35, and somewhere around the 36-yard line. Should be close enough and should be a first down at about the 37-yard line. It is a Lenoir first down.
4th catch on the day for Mark Sanders, who's having a pretty good day. Made a clutch catch on that last drive of the first half that kept it going for the Bears, who, Jeff, they scored on that first possession, made it look pretty easy, and they scored on that last possession of the first half. In between, though, they've had some problems in establishing the running attack.
1st and 10, they fake the pitch, and now they come back with Crawford trying to get outside. James to around the 40-yard line before the Bulldogs gang tackle and drop him there. Bill Henson, who made the interception a moment ago for the Bulldogs, one of those tacklers over there, as it's going to bring up a second down situation for the Bears. 2nd and about 8 yards to go. Crawford on the afternoon has 48 yards on 10 carries.
There you go, James Crawford leading the Bears in rushing this year, coming into the game with 286 yards. And the Bulldog defense just stringing out the Bears along the front line. Those big guys, Jeff, are hard to block if you're a receiver, 5'6", 5'7", only 140, 50 pounds.
Atley comes in motion as Laurendine hits Greer out of the backfield. Walter breaks a couple of tackles, but now he's horse-collared and dropped at about the 44-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Bears at that point of the field.
You know, Lenoir Rhyne over the last couple of weeks, Jeff, you kind of wonder after this game, will probably have played the 3 most physical teams in the SAC 8 in terms of Elon, Presbyterian, and now Gardner Webb, and how the Bears kind of line up and play after this game is going to tell how it's going to be the rest of the season, because they're playing some awfully physical football teams right now.
Sanders and Jones come to the short side of the field as the wide receivers. Now Jones in motion back to the top of your screen in the wide side of the field. On 3rd and 4, they're going to pitch to Crawford. Crawford over the 45, appears to be about a yard short of what they need for a first down at about the 46-yard line.
Oh, movement up front there for both the Bulldog defense and the LR offense, but no penalty flag. And let's see what happens. The Bears go to the sweep to the left side again with a couple of veteran players over there. Jeff, senior Todd Bennett at guard, and Todd Flint, who's a senior as well, at tackle.
A little more favorable spot there than we first anticipated. The officials trying to get the chain squared away so they can come out on the field with it. They got caught up in one of the Bears coaches' headsets over there, and now they come out on the field. That's got to feel good when it's jerked off your head. Now they get the spot.
It's going to be 4th down.
And John Perry and his staff's got a decision at their own 47-yard line on 4th and less than a yard. Are you going to go for it or punt it away?
He's thinking it over. Stu hasn't made it. They're going to go for it. The Bears have made a couple of fourth down situations the last couple of games. One earlier, Jeff, in the first half, and I think they're going to take a timeout.
Gardner Webb signaling whether they want a timeout or not, and their coaches do want a timeout, so we'll take one. On fourth down and less than a yard, timeout here at College Field. You're watching Lenoir Rhyne on Catawba Valley Cable TV. Critical play in this afternoon's game. Fourth down and less than a yard for the Bears. Look at Gardner Webb put up those people on the line of scrimmage. The pitch to Crawford, and I don't know if he's got it or not. Somewhere in the vicinity of the 48-yard line is where they'll mark his forward progress. Julius, you think he's got it? I just don't know. They'll have to measure this thing to be sure.
The house, the casino, the boat, he's got the first down. Gardner Webb's not putting up too much of an argument either, Jeff. He's probably got about the length of your right foot.
Well, you have a good view of it on your screen there at home as they bring the chains out. The officials got it marked. They stretch the chain out. And your house and your casino is safe for now. Barely.
I don't have a house, boat, or casino, but I'll bet it anyway.
Tell you what, I don't know if I want you with me when I go to Las Vegas or not.
I'll go there for the showgirls. The heck with the gambling.
I'll tell you what, let's remember this play. This could be a big one before this afternoon is over. 3:23 to go in the third quarter. The Bears go for it on fourth and a yard and get it.
I really don't think so. There are going to be so many big plays, Jeff, and oops.
Well, that time Rex Harrison got about a count ahead of everybody, and the Bears will be penalized 5 yards for that.
Gardner Webb plays, Jeff, like they're on the end of a cliff. They play like it's the last play of the football game. On defense, they pressure a lot, put 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. And offense, they play for the big play. They don't like those methodical drives and off tackle. They want the big play. They're like the Oakland Raiders of small college football, L.A. Raiders.
Now they are, L.A.
Yes.
43-yard line. Of course, I've been saying Oakland for the last 5 years that they've been in L.A. as well.
Well, there's some talk that they may move back to Oakland, honest to goodness.
Well, they're going to Irwindale. Now the Bears have taken too much time, and that's going to cost them another 5 yards.
Maybe it was good that the Bears did not make the first down.
Let's switch down to the sideline. Tom Watson and Cheryl Sigmund standing by.
Standing here with Coach John Hamilton, head men's baseball coach here at Lenoir. And Coach, we're getting ready for the World Series here on television. Let's talk a little baseball. You got a young team this year, 11 freshmen.
Well, yeah, we're expecting a lot of things from them. This fall, we've been starting freshmen at every infield position. So we've been doing a lot of learning, a lot of teaching this fall. So hopefully in the spring, we'll be ready to go.
You've got a couple local recruits, don't you? I know at least one from South Caldwell. Tell us about them.
I've got Robin Bryant from South Caldwell. I have Kent Cloninger from East Lincoln and Vince Ackard from Hickory High School.
Looking forward to a good season now.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thanks for being with us. Back to the game, Juju and Jeff.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl. Nothing's gone right for the Bears since they went for it on fourth down and made it. They've had 2 penalties, and now as Larndine trying to throw that time, they get a 3rd penalty, and this one's holding, and so they'll assess there's a roughing the passer penalty against Gardner Webb, so they'll neutralize each other, and we'll go back to 1st and 20 back at the 38-yard line.
Cheryl caught you off guard, eating food again.
Well, the M&Ms are good, but I didn't quite have them done when she came back to us. 2:15 to go in the third quarter. Gardner Webb on top, 17-14, after having trailed at halftime, 14-10.
This is the situation Bulldogs love to be in, Jeff. Put pressure on the quarterback and force you to throw the football.
Larndine, the delay. Crawford with a big hole, almost to midfield, to the 48-yard line, and it'll set up 2nd and about 11 for the Bears at that point.
You know, that's been the Bears' offensive philosophy, Jeff, not to go for the big play as much. You have a 1st and 20. No need to pick it up all in one play, so they take half and now bring up a 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9, and that's really not a bad situation to be in. They can go, we haven't seen that much of a screen pass yet today either.
Crawford, 12 carries, 57 yards. Now we've got 4 receivers for the Bears on 2nd and 10, if you will, at the 48-yard line of Lenoir Rhyne. Larndine with only Greer back there to block, and he goes out for the pass as well, and the pass on the far sideline is out of the reach of the intended receiver over there. And it will bring up 3rd and long for the Bears.
You know, Gardner Webb's defense, there's your score in the 3rd quarter. We have a minute and a half to go in the 3rd. Gardner Webb 17, Lenoir 14. Gardner Webb's defensive secondary, Jeff, is playing that zone coverage and has not allowed the Bears to come across the middle that much today. We saw a pass late in the first half, but they have such outstanding cornerbacks in Bruton and Mack, and they play a lot of man-to-man on the corner and really force you up close, that bump-and-run defense.
Split the running backs, 3 receivers. Laurendine on 3rd and 10. Out of the backfield, Crawford, midfield, 45, first down at the 40, and they'll grab him at about the 38-yard line. But more importantly, the Bears get a 3rd down conversion and get a fresh set of downs inside the Gardner Webb 40.
Sometimes it'll backfire in terms of the man-on-man. The receivers will run your man off deep, Jeff, and when they put that pressure on, the linemen full out for the left side over there for the screen pass and a lot of room to run. Crawford negotiated himself for the good pickup and another 3rd down conversion for the Bears.
Bears 10 of 14 for 118 yards. That's Laurendine and Root together this afternoon. First down at the Gardner Webb 38, and the Bulldogs may have jumped off sides.
Do you want to give you that stat in terms of how the Bears have played in the second half, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As soon as I find it. No, on the season, as we see a penalty against Gardner Webb, making it a 1st and 5. Lenoir-Rhyne's best quarter of the season has been the 3rd quarter. They've outscored their opponents 31-6, but the 4th quarter has been their worst, and turns out it's been Gardner Webb's best quarter. In fact, they've outscored their opponents by a wide margin.
That could be a bad omen on 1st and 5. Crawford in the secondary. He is gone. Touchdown, Lenoir-Rhyne. Put it on the scoreboard. The Bears have gone back on top. That was a 33-yard touchdown run by James Crawford, and the Bears are on top 20-17.
Big plays galore. You would have to be here to believe it. James Crawford on the draw play takes it up the middle, and the Bears come right back. We may go down to the final few seconds as the Bears take the lead again, Jeff.
Big extra point when you consider Gardner Webb has a fine place kicker in Parker, and a field goal could knock the score at 20-17. So Dan Queen comes on with 1:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. A good spot. The kick is on the way, and the Bears have a 4-point lead at 21-17. Timeout on the field. 1:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. Lenoir-Rhyne up by 4. You're watching on Catawba Valley Cable TV. Off is going to be a little short. Going to be dropped by Gardner Webb. Now they'll pick it up, and the Bears will be there to swarm Flanagan, who was the return man for Gardner Webb, and the Bulldogs are going to be in something of a hole. Our best stat man in the business, Frank Huffman, tells us that Lenoir-Rhyne drive consumed 9 plays, 75 yards. Crawford 4 carries for 42 yards and the touchdown. Laurendine 3 of 5 in that series for 33 yards.
It's a good drive, and it'll give you confidence when you consider, Jeff, they had a 1st and 20 back deep at about the 30-yard line, picked up the 1st down. When you consider they had problems running the football here since about the middle of the 1st quarter, the Bears changed up a little bit, ran off tackle, and also considering that Laurendine had not played since the 1st half. He comes off the bench, takes his team down for a touchdown. So 3 good things happening on that drive for the Bears.
Sun shining bright at College Field on this homecoming Saturday, and the Bears lead 21-17 as Gardner Webb goes from the 14. Benson trying to option, and that pumped-up Bear defense is there to make the defensive play. Charlie Wallace, who's had a good game for the Bears, one of the primary tacklers on that play.
Wallace, the junior, out of Delmont, Pennsylvania. Also the Bears, Frank Huffman pointing out. You see at LR's 4-1 record, the best start for the Bears since 1969.
The age of Aquarius.
The year of the New York Mets. So the Mets having a good year. Let's maybe tie that in.
The year man walked on the moon.
The year the New York Jets won.
2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs at their own 23-yard line. Benson wants to throw off the play action. Over the middle. Did he catch it or not?
Yes, he did.
Cunningham and a 1st down at the 38-yard line.
You had a good shot of it on your camera. Cunningham's one of the better receivers. Last year, Jeff, Cunningham led the Bulldogs in receptions with 34 for 481 yards and 2 touchdowns. And first time the Bulldogs have thrown the football this half.
Benson 6 of 10, 103 yards so far in the football game. We're in the closing seconds of the 3rd quarter. This could be the last play of the quarter. 1st down, Gardner Webb at their own 38. Little quick sideline pattern over there. That's Tim Waters making the reception and goes out of bounds for a first down as the third quarter comes to a close. Timeout here at College Field. Lenoir Rhyne leading 21-17. You're watching Lenoir Rhyne on Catawba Valley Cable TV. Quarter as Benson rolls out left, throws down to the sideline. Frank Cunningham, the receiver, making the catch for Gardner Webb inside the Bear 30-yard line. It'll be first down for Gardner Webb at the Bear 25-yard line, and the Bulldogs down 21-17 are threatening once again.
Gardner Webb's offense, their passing attack coming into the game today was 7th ranked in the SAC 8, and Benson came into the game struggling with 9 interceptions. Right now he's 8 of 12 for 143 yards. So you can throw those stats out the window now. Benson's got some confidence.
First down at the Bear 25-yard line. Benson on the delay to McKenzie. 20. He's dancing down the sideline and out of bounds over there somewhere in the vicinity of the 13-yard line.
Did you see number 82 in your screen for Gardner Webb? He came back on the crackback, Jeff, and clipped and knew it and did one of these numbers. Ole?
I'm guilty.
I'm guilty, and start looking around for the referees, and fortunately for the Bulldogs, the yellow flag did not come down. The LR coaches noticed something over there as they sprinted down the sidelines, but Bulldogs set that play up pretty good with 3 passes and then a drop play, and they've come right back, Jeff. We may go down. We probably will go down to the final couple of minutes.
Well, the Bulldogs started this possession at their own 21. They're now at the Lenoir Rhyne 13-yard line, 1st and 10, 4:47 to go in the third quarter. The fourth quarter. The Bears on top 21-17. Here's the pitch to Middleton. They cover the corner well, and he fumbles the ball down inside the 5-yard line. And who has got it? Lenoir Rhyne may have possession of the football.
Gardner Webb may have picked it up.
We'll have to unpile.
Gardner Webb's got the football.
64 is Thurman Leach. And Gardner Webb, on the luck of the fumble, will have it 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Middleton may be hurt on the play.
They picked up an extra 12 yards, Jeff, on the fumble recovery. Ike Oglesby looked like he had it. And one of those big linemen coming down the field, you mentioned number 64, Leach, just kind of rolled over there and bruised his way, picked up the fumble. And that's about the 3rd time that the Bulldogs have recovered their own fumble. And you see Middleton going out maybe with a leg bruise.
He may be back, though. He's off under his own power, so it's not totally bad news for Gardner Webb to see him go out. They certainly would hate for him to stay out of the game for the remainder of the fourth quarter, but he probably has a chance to get back.
Boy, the Bears came so close. In the first half, they had a fumble in their hands at the 10-yard line going in, and the Bulldogs recovered that time an extra 11 yards on the rush after the fumble. So Gardner Webb about to take the lead again with about 14 minutes left.
Rodney Lorick in there to block as they give the handoff to it's Benson that gets the touchdown, and Gardner Webb back on top 23-21.
Keep in mind the Bears have not performed very well in the fourth quarter in terms of scoring points and allowing points, and also have not beaten Gardner Webb since 1982.
Rodney Lorick was the guy that got the touchdown, 84 instead of Benson, 14. The spot, Parker's kick wasn't very pretty, but it got through, and it's 24-21 Gardner Webb, 14-12 to go in the fourth quarter. Timeout on the field. You're watching Lenoir Rhyne on Catawba Valley Cable TV. Well, we're on a seesaw, and it's 6 plays and 80 yards for Gardner Webb on the touchdown drive. And here's the kickoff, and the Bears will have possession at about their 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Lenoir Rhyne at that point on the field. Just over 14 minutes to go in the contest, and Gardner Webb has a 24-21 lead. And Juju, this is the type football game we were expecting here this afternoon.
Gardner Webb took less than 2 minutes, or about 2 minutes, Jeff, to score after the Bears had scored on James Crawford, 33-yard touchdown run. And again, Bowers and Baldner in their running backs, and Laurendine stays in at quarterback.
First time I think we've seen Russ in there this afternoon. He's not carried the ball yet. Laurendine out of the backfield. This is Bowers, and he comes over the 30 out to the 31-yard line, picks up about 5 on the play.
Randolph started out good, Jeff, early in the season, then had that ankle injury we spoke of, and he's starting to get back in form, but really hasn't showed the flashes of brilliance that we've seen Randolph run the last couple of years. Did lead the Bears in rushing against the Bulldogs last year, but this afternoon, James Crawford has had the fine game for the Bears with a long touchdown run as Bowers goes out, and the Bears will go with one running back. Sam Wells checks in at wide receiver.
Bears 11 out of 15 for 123 yards passing this afternoon as Larndine flooding the area with the receivers, goes over the middle to Harrison. Rex has got the reception, breaks a tackle, and gets to the Gardner Webb 34-yard line where to be first down, Lenoir Rhyne.
A couple of Bulldogs now on the field as Harrison beat Eric Bruton, who's an outstanding cornerback. And I tell you what, Jeff, Gardner Webb with the pressure defense, if you give good protection, the Bears are going to find somebody, and Harrison, from his roomie, picked up his second reception of the day.
Big gain for the Bears. They'll have it at the 34-yard line of Gardner Webb. We got 13 minutes to go in the contest as Lenoir Rhyne trailing 24-21, trying to go 3-0 in the SAC 8. Baldner, Russ breaks a tackle or two and gets to the 30-yard line. He continues to impress me. The freshman out of Crystal River, Florida, who had such a great game here last Saturday, continues to run the ball with a lot of aggression.
Okay, Mr. Play-by-Play expert, you said you like Russ Baldner, and you mentioned his name in his hometown, Crystal River, Florida. Mr. Geography, where is Crystal River, Florida?
It's south of here. It's in Florida. It's on the Crystal River, I suppose.
I appreciate all the homework you've been doing.
Thank you. I tried to narrow it down as good for you as I could.
I'm glad I asked that question and you did. 2nd
and 6. Here's the running play as Randolph Bowers gets to about the 26-yard line, and we'll have 3rd and short for the Bears. And here's a big 3rd down play for Lenoir Rhyne with 12:10 to go and the clock moving along here in the 4th quarter. Gardner Webb on top by 24-21. And you go back to thinking about the 2 interceptions in the end zone that Gardner Webb has had here this afternoon. Thomas Mack saved them a couple of times.
Plus the couple of fumbles Gardner Webb has had that they've been able to recover, Jeff, that the Bears actually had a hand on.
Craig Damon in the game now for Bears as a wide receiver to the bottom of your screen. Here's the pitch to Bowers, and he may have the first down as he's inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line.
Depends on the mark. He's short.
If he marks it there, he's short by about a half yard, and the Bears have another 4th down decision to make.
Now they're going to go for it. They've done this too many times in the last 2 games, Jeff, to not try the field goal. And Richie Mallard is the long field goal kicker, and Dan Queen has struggled a little bit for the Bears this year from the place kicking side of it. So John Perry having faith in his offense. Don't be surprised if we see another sweep.
Well, Jones brings the play in from the sideline.
You know, the Gardner Webb sooner or later, Jeff's going to have to snuff it out here because the Bears just continue to go with the sweep on 4th down.
Crowd coming to its feet on 4th and less than a yard. Larndine, I think, has the first down as he nudges in there and gets to about the 22-yard line. Steve Swope, big help as the center. Also Todd Bennett to guard there on that play, and they wedged just enough room for him to get the first down.
I don't think I have to tell you what the name of that play is called. Besides the sneak, it's called Goose. That's all they call in the huddle, Goose. The center comes up underneath the center and...
Okay.
Goose. That's what the play's called. Simple.
7 first downs in this half. 10.5 minutes to go. Bears have a first down at the 23 of Gardner Webb, and Larndine's going to have to hurry or he's going to get a delay penalty. And he got the delay penalty. And he's a little upset at himself right now because he knows he was the reason for the penalty.
Well, I think he saw defense, Jeff, where he tried to check off to another play maybe and change what the Bears have been trying to do. And the play had come in that late. He just didn't have enough time to check off quick enough.
Up through the first 3 games of the season, first 4 games of the season, the Bears were the most penalized team in the SAC 8. Today, they've got 7 penalties for 35 yards. Sanders and Jones to the top of your screen as Larndine will drop back on 1st and 15. Over the middle, wide open. It's a, my! In and out of the hands of Sam Wells at the goal line. That had 6 all over it. It had so much over it, he couldn't hold on to it.
Sam Wells beat Eric Bruton. Fake Jeff on the corner and came across on the post pattern man on man. And he beat him like a rented mule across the middle.
2nd and 15. That is a heartbreaker for John Perry and his staff. That was an easy 6 points. Wells and Jones to the top of the screen.
See if they go back to Sim.
Running play, good block at the point of attack. Stringing it out and struggling for yardage is Bowers, and he gets inside the 25 down to the 21-yard line. The Bears going to be looking at another 3rd down. Thomas Mack came up from his cornerback position and finally put him on the turf. 3rd and a long 3rd and 8 for the Bears at the 21 of Gardner Webb. 9:40 to go in the ball game, and Gardner Webb on top by 3, 24-21.
Little mix-up in the backfield right now, and James Crawford back in there, Jeff. Let's see if the Bears go to number 24 out of the backfield, or maybe Harrison.
Well, they split the running backs. Lauren Dean in trouble, has to move back. They try to throw it over here to Crawford, and he can't make the catch. And now the Bears looking at 4th down. They're going to send Mallard on to try a placement here. Mackie Pritchard will do the holding, and this will be a chance at tying the football game.
His first attempt this year.
First time in a while. The Bears didn't even try a field goal last week. This will be spotted at the 28-yard line, so it'll be a 38-yard attempt.
Within his range.
A good spot. The kick is on its way. It's high enough. It's long enough. It is good. 9:15 to go in the contest, and we got a tie score at 24-all. You're watching Lenoir Rhyne on Catawba Valley Cable TV. I'm Jeff Jones along with Juju Phillips, Tom Watson, Cheryl Sigmund on the sidelines. The kickoff following Mallard's field goal that tied the score, and the Bears special teams continue to cover it very well. Lenoir Rhyne's Ben Fouts down to make the tackle, and Gardner Webb will start deep in their own territory. That field goal drive, 7 plays, covering 73 yards. LR with a 24-24 football game right now, and Gardner Webb takes over deep in their own territory inside their 15-yard line. There's a penalty on top of that. They'll put it inside the 10.
Kind of don't like this, Jeff. Gardner Webb, every time they've been backed up this afternoon, has moved the ball down the field pretty easily. Let me tell you this, though, the last 2 times that each team has had possession of the football, they have managed some points. Turnovers have been the story most of the day, and the big plays, and with the score tied 9 minutes to go, it may come down to a turnover or a big play.
So the Bulldogs start deep in their own territory at their own 8-yard line. And they give it on the running play for maybe a couple of yards. Struggling there for some yardage out to about the 11-yard line. College Field, Hickory, North Carolina, the campus of Lenoir Rhyne College, one of the best places in America to watch a small college football game, as McKenzie now 10 carries, 55 yards. And Darrell Middleton limping quite a bit. Juju, don't know what his situation will be for Gardner Webb.
He's in there. He's not limping quite a bit, but he is limping. Of course, it may be him just resting up.
2nd and 7, little pass to the sideline over there is going to be caught, but no gain by Waters. That wasn't a well-conceived play. The Bears had that covered from the beginning.
They've tried it a couple of times this afternoon, but I believe it was the SAC 8 National Player of the Week on defense, Brian Foster, coming up, and he has come up with big plays, Jeff, time and time again this year, and that was another one, and it'll bring up 3rd down for the Bulldogs, and they don't want to get too fancy here with the ball being backed up like it is.
3rd down and 8 yards to go. The ball sitting at the 10-yard line of Gardner Webb.
Benson has thrown 9 interceptions this year. He hasn't thrown 1 this afternoon. Let's see if the Bears put pressure.
Gardner Webb deep in their own territory. 3rd and 8 from their own 10. Benson wanting to throw under heavy pressure, going